want a better life for my family. What's next?
I'm looking to better my career. What's next?
I just graduated from high school. What's next?
I dropped out of high school. What's next?
I'm the first in my family to go to college. What's next?
I just lost my job. What's next?
I just got out of the military. What's next?
I've just been released from prison. What's next?
I don't know what's next for me.
Don't know what's next for you? Join me, Dr. Renee Cintron, on the What's Next Louisiana podcast and discover the possibilities with Louisiana's community and technical colleges.
Welcome to another episode of the What's Next Louisiana podcast, where we are set to inform you about the work that our community and technical colleges are doing across the state and hopefully inspire you in regards to what's next for you. Tonight, we have a special episode where I have the pleasure of speaking with fellow veterans from across our state. So let's meet our guests. Let's start with Archie Jeter. Archie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your name? Obviously, I just said it, but school, your major, your military affiliation, and anything else you want to share about yourself. And then we'll meet our other two guests and have a conversation, all of us together. Archie, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but we can't see you just yet.
You can't see me, huh?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay. All right. My name is Archie Jeter. I'm a 12-year service-connected Air Force veteran, and I'm currently enrolled at Northwest Technical College here in Shreveport, Louisiana, in the barbering program. And my objective once I graduate is to own and operate my own barber shop once I graduate from the barbering program.
All right, good deal. Thank you, Archie, for joining here and for taking the time. Crystal, we'll go to you next.
Hi. I'm Crystal Ginger. I'm the special assistant to the chancellor at Fletcher Technical Community College. And I'm also a U.S. Navy 6.5-year vet, also disabled, medical discharged. And when I was in the military, I was air traffic controller.
All right, excellent. Thank you. Felton, how about you? If you want to introduce yourself, your name, school, major, military affiliation, and anything else you want to add.
My name's Felton Williams. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I go to Northwest Louisiana Technical Community College. I'm in the HVAC program, heating, air conditioning, and ventilation. Refrigeration too, but I want to be more in the comfort cooling part of it, because so many people are spending time inside. It should be comfortable. It should be clean. Because everything in the world is changing around us. I love being in the program. I love what's being done for us, as veterans, and my college experience is going very well so far. I'll be out there changing lives before you know it, thanks to the Louisiana Community College system, and the opportunities that they provide for us.
Well, thank you. And thank you all for, again, taking the time to have this conversation. I look forward to, I know we spoke a little bit right before we started. I look forward to having a more conversation with you. Felton, when are you due to graduate?
I'm scheduled to get out in May.
Get out,
Get out.
Is it that bad that you want to get out?
Ooh, it's like
Sounds like
ETS.
military.
Because it's work, it's still work, but it's the next step. I got to complete that before I can move to the next step. And when you get to be 50, you're ready to move. You're ready to do something, and it's just I'm doing a career change, and it's how I got back into college, because I wanted to flip careers, and I don't want to spend 5 or 6 years in the field being a newbie apprentice again like that. So you go to a place to get skill set so you can come in a little bit ahead of the game, because I have lots of practical experience, but I needed the technical experience. And that's the opportunity that I'm taking advantage of at the moment.
Well, I'm going to say this, you've got a cool career ahead of you.
Well, that's exactly why I'm in HVAC. I want to do something cool.
There you go. Archie, you say you want to start your own business. When are you finishing your studies with Northwest Technical Community College? No, Northwest Louisiana Technical Community College.
Right here in Shreveport. Yes, I'm in the barbering program, and I will be graduating also in May. I will be graduating in May.
All right, good. And that's when you're going to start your venture. Right?
Well, I'm right now. I'm looking for locations right now. A location because I want to own and operate my own business. What I did mention earlier is I'm a 32-year postal service retiree. I retired as a mailman, 32 years of service. And what I like about this program and the barbering program, it's a lot like being a mailman. You're communicating with a lot of people from all walks of life, and that's what I like about this barbering program. It reminds me of the postal service, and as a mailman when I was a mailman.
That's great. Thank you both for sharing what your plans are after you're done with your school. You know what I forgot to share with you all, at least in this session since we started, I shared it with you earlier, but I spent some time in the Air Force, and so it's nice to speak with other veterans about the things that we have in common. And we were appreciating the fact that we have different services here, and we're missing our brothers and sisters at arms in the Marines that are not in here in the Coast Guard and others. So, but we do have a good representation of the different branches of the military, which is great. And Crystal, I want to turn to you for a second too. We just heard from two students that are returning and getting a second career in many instances, and are excited about finishing up and getting into that venture. And I know you, in addition to your previous job with air traffic controller, I mean, I'm sure you do a little bit of that, the air traffic controlling in the Veterans Center that you're a part of there at Fletcher Technical Community College. Can you tell me and the listeners and those that are watching about the support services that you and others provide at the Veterans Center?
Absolutely. In addition to being the Chancellor's Assistant, I'm also the Veteran Resource Center Supervisor here at Fletcher. And what we have done, we started about 2 years ago, creating the center to be a place for veterans to come, a place for veterans to kind of feel like a USO type environment where you come in, you get water, coffee, some snacks that are available to you, a place for you to come and sit and study, a quiet spot, or also a place where you can gather with other veterans and have a study time together, or just to connect again. So the biggest part that when we started this was to get connected with our veteran students and having them a place to come to. And then in the process, as we grew, we started realizing you guys do not know the services that are available out there to you. There's more than just educational benefits that are there. So now we were on the path to looking for how do we provide these resources to our veterans so they can know. And then we started meeting people in the community, and there's several organizations throughout our area. One I'd love to highlight is South Louisiana Veterans Organization. They are an outreach program, and they really have partnered with us to help supply some of the things in our center so that way veterans can come and get office supplies if they need pencils, highlighters, a notepad. So we have that kind of information and supplies here for them as well. And we also have, we're sponsored by a Rotary Club, so they help us provide like technical equipment into the office that can have a student come in here and use a computer, use the printer for free, along with all the other things like we provide work study student availability for anyone who's on VA benefits. You can get, if you qualify, you can get a job part-time on the campus to kind of supplement some money. And there's all kind of other things. There's a lending library that we have available for students in case you can't afford that big textbook. If we have it in our library, you're able to check it out just like a normal library. So those are just some of the few things that we really offer, along with, and I don't want to forget, we have a navigator. I don't know if you've heard about the navigator on campus. This was something established through Governor Edwards 2 years ago, I believe, huh, Renee, that every campus would have a veteran center on every college campus in the state of Louisiana with a navigator who helps the veteran navigate, as you know, through the VA benefits. As you all know, VA benefits can be difficult and trying, and sometimes we want to just give it up, right? Like, okay, there's too much paperwork. But we have the navigator in place that helps you through that process. And I know throughout our 13 colleges, there's a veteran center with a navigator there to help you navigate your way through college to coming back into the civilian world, transitioning, you know, from the military and getting yourself connected into the college community. Because what we want to do is make sure you're successful. When you walk in the door, we want you to enroll, but we also want you to finish and complete and go on to your next career.
That's great. Thank you for that summary and giving the idea of what you're doing at the center and the fact that there are these centers at other colleges. And the navigator is someone employed by the Department of Veteran Affairs,
Right.
housed at each campus, at each college rather, which is interesting. And I want to go back to something you said about the transition and go through and ask Archie and Felton to maybe share a little bit about the connection between their military experience and the college experience. So Archie, we'll start with you. You know, how do the two worlds intersect? Your veteran experience with your college experience.
When you say how do they connect, what do you mean from the time I got out of the service and when I got back into civilian life?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, a lot of it has to do with, from what I can see, is the discipline. Once you're in the military, that discipline is what starts your whole career, whole life is discipline. And once you get out of the military, you continue that same discipline in whatever field you choose, and go on with it. You know, and that's what I've noticed, the difference between the military and the civilian life.
Great, thank you, Archie. Felton, anything to add to that?
Well, the discipline is absolutely something that you carry with you from the military to everywhere else you go. I joined the military when I was 17 years old. I got into the Louisiana National Guard on the delayed entry program, which was an educational program which allows you to do basic training in your between your 11th and 12th grade year, and do your AIT after you graduated from high school. And where I was coming from, you know, it was 1987, graduating in 1988. The military was my ticket for education and to get out of the situation that you have no choice when you're a kid, you know, but this is the land of the free, home of the brave. You make it what you go get it if you want to go get it. So
That's right.
and it was April the 8th. I remember it like it was yesterday when my mother signed me into the Louisiana National Guard. Stuart A. Briard was my recruiter, and it changed my life. It opened the door to get set on the path, because I live in a rural area where in 87, 88, 89, there was the oil industry had busted here.
Yeah.
There was no casinos. There was only dope and jail. Those were your two options. So the military, it kept me from being on dope and going to jail. So I took advantage of that, and I learned from that. You know, if you want to do something, go get the education, but everybody may not have that opportunity. I'm just happy I made the choices that I made, so I have an opportunity to continue that. So my first career, I went into, I was an engineer in the Louisiana National Guard, and my unit got activated, and we served in Desert Storm honorably, you know, in the neutral zone near Bosphorus. And it was every day something new and exciting, because when you're in the military and you're in the National Guard, you kind of look down upon. They challenge you all the time. So you have to show your soldier all the time. And we performed as excellent soldiers, you know, and I'm very proud of my service, the time that I did, what I've done there and in between. But I wouldn't be here today, now in school again, if it was not for the assistance from the military and just good help. Louisiana was so fine. When I got back from Desert Storm, they said every soldier that served in Desert Storm, $300. I was a college student at the time, so it was just for, sir. It was just for being, a thank you, and I remember that. So I don't take anything for granted. I don't. I wish other soldiers would take advantage of it if they can, if they have that opportunity and they want to do something. But it's frustrating. A lot of times we get frustrated, and because there's a way things should be, and when you come back, it's not that way. People don't lie to you in the military most of the time. I don't even know Archie and Crystal very well, or you, Renee, but I know I can trust you with my life, and I've never seen you before. And just because we served in a greater fraternity and our American brotherhood and sisterhood, it just supersedes all of that because I kind of know who you are. I know what you're about. But when you come out and you're dealing with just any and everybody, it's frustrating because people just look you in the face and just lie. They just tell you, I'll be there, and they ain't coming. And that's hard to transition to. But the community college is very similar to AIT in the military, which is advanced individual training. It's what you are there to become besides, a basic combat soldier. So that's what this college experience is, similar to that, but way less stressful. Way less stressful. My instructors are not as intense as any of the instructors I had at AIT and in the Army. So, but just a quality education, it is what they're doing.
Can I point out something, Renee? Something that Felton said that caught my attention. I remember when we were in the military and I was older, I actually went into the military at 30 years old. So I was already an adult, been in the world, and chose to go into the military to serve my country. So I had a lot of, wisdom, I guess, to some degree compared to the 20-year-olds. But one of the things I had learned and watched was veterans, when you're in the military, there's so many opportunities, right? There's so many benefits and opportunities, but we don't go looking for it. They have it there, but they want you to go find out. They want you to go explore. And if you just do that, then you find out there's all these things that you can do, right? Or have at your disposal. One of the things I know in the military is always, we don't make enough money. We don't make enough money. But we would always remind everybody there's benefits that you don't even realize that are out there, right? But they have to go after it. Well, it's the same thing coming to college. What we're learning with our veteran students, they don't know all the benefits that are still available to them even after the military. States have some states have different programs that are just state funded for veterans compared to federal. So they don't come out looking for it. So we are trying to get out there to get our veterans to know you have things at your disposal. And I'm speaking from a veteran who had to be forced to go after the benefits that are available, because I was doing the same thing. So I just thought it was interesting when he said that, and it just reminded me we still do it even in our civilian life or in college. There's benefits there, but we have to go look for it, and we do not do it. But our centers are hopefully around to give you that little nudge and help you find those resources. So I hope that was okay.
Yeah, thank you for adding that. Felton, something you said, you were an engineer in the Army, is that right?
Yes, combat engineer. We blow up stuff, we build stuff. We built the infantry, make a good road, they'll walk on the side of it. But that's what the engineers do, the unit that I was in,
When you mentioned AIT, it made me think about, we call it tech school, same difference.
Same thing.
I was in Fort Leonard Wood for mine. So was that yours too?
Fort Belvoir, Virginia. My first.
There were some engineers there.
Yes. I went to good schools. You went to the woods, lost in the woods, misery. It's what.
Well, hold up. I think I've got something even better than y'all. I was air traffic control in the Navy. I was in Pensacola on the beach at a training station.
Archie, what were you?
I'm just saying, I'm sorry, it was rough.
You got, I can see it. I see the stress on you now from it.
It was very stressful. I always would tell my friends, when I go to Pensacola, I'm like, look, we study because they condensed a 2-year civilian air traffic control program into 4 months.
Yes.
We would be at the beach with our Post-it notes and cards and books, and we're just like eating, breathing, thinking air traffic control, but we were on a beach. So I'm just saying.
That's a silver lining there.
Nice,
Archie, where did you do your technical training in the Air Force?
I did my technical training at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas. But see, my experience was I stayed 6 years, and actually I'm getting the 40% disability right now based on the PTSD. Actually, they shouldn't have shipped me every year. I went from San Antonio, Texas to Rodman Air Force Base. Only stayed there a year. I was supposed to stay more than 15 months. But after that, they sent me to Incirlik Air Force Base in Turkey. I stayed there a year. After that, I went to Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. I stayed there a year. I stayed 6 years now. After a year in Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, they sent me to Clark Air Base in the Philippines a year. After I stayed there a year, they sent me to Tampa, Florida, down to McNeil Air Force Base, and that's where I got discharged after 6 years.
You wanted them to make up their minds where they wanted to have it.
Every year, one of my sergeants was tapping me on the shoulder saying, "Hey, you being shipped out." I said, "What? I only been here about a year." Yeah, and then I ship out again. Yeah,
well, that's great. So I'm gonna ask y'all. When we go around for this one, Archie, we'll keep it with you. What advice do you have for students in general, or specifically veteran students that want to pursue a training at your institution or any other community college across the state?
Well, the first thing they need to do is like I forgot the lady name here, but they should seek the veteran counselor and see what the benefits and opportunities they have for that college. I mean, in that particular college, that's what they need to do. Go to the Veterans Affairs office and find out what in their area what opportunities are available.
Okay. Good. Thanks, Archie. What about you, Felton? What's a piece of advice for students?
Don't wait. Do it. Just do it. That's the hardest part is getting started, because most vets don't want to seem like whiners, and that everybody is in college to make a change in their life. And when people get an opportunity to make that change, they find excuses to get in the way. And it's hard to shake them, because it's like Archer's like that PTSD. I'm 90% PTSD. So I know, and it's that's a part of the frustrating part, that you know it's a better way and it should go a better way, but you get frustrated and you're the vet. I don't really need that to survive or make it, because I can make it with less. It's not as bad as the Army. It's not as bad as being in the desert. It's not that bad. So you learn to adapt, overcome, and make do in your real life, which it'll cause you to suffer, because you can make it, and you're just happy that you've done so much and the country's done so much for you, because you've seen places that actually suck. We don't suck. We may have this, we got enough, we can just talk trash to each other and be upset with each other all we want, but we still don't suck. There's some places that they got it rough. And but once you go there and experience that, you think about this place, hey, I really don't want to lose it. So I would, there's nothing that I wouldn't do for it. I would do 50 more tours if it would save America. I would do them by myself if it would save what we have here. And it's fragile, because we're a special place, and we can't get lost in stupid stuff, and not realize who we are. But the biggest thing is just to do it, just to do it. There's nobody there that's gonna hold you back. Everybody, they want to help, but you don't want to hear all of that. Like when people say, thank you for your service, I don't feel like I've done anything to be thanked for because I live in America too. It's like thanking me for being me. And that makes me feel weird all the time. I don't know to say you're welcome. I don't know what the I've I've been a vet 30 years. I still feel weird when people thank me for that. And it's a lot of times it's why I don't wear any like paraphernalia or anything. I don't want any credit for anything that you're supposed to do anyway. Don't pat. And we got so soft, I think, too, that everybody needs a trophy or a participant badge or something. And I'm not from that generation. So sometimes it may seem like I'm not warm and fuzzy. I have my best cell phone now, but that is not everybody doesn't get a trophy. You got to go at it and give it your best. Everybody needs may need some help. Everybody may need some encouragement, but you don't just quit because you didn't get a participant badge or something. And I see a lot of that because I'm 50 in there with guys that are a lot younger, fresh out of high school, and everything is a tragedy. And it's just like, good God. And so some things are kind of challenging for me because I see them so differently, but I try to understand them. I ask them questions, why is that hard? What is going on with that? And but it's kind of weird to me, because I guess I'm from a different world, and I feel ancient because it's just a certain way I think, people should carry themselves, way you should perform and do stuff. And I know because I live in America and I fought for people's stupidity, so you can be as stupid as you want to be. I try to let them exercise that with me. I don't tell people how to think or anything. I just don't think it. And that bothers me because I have to internally push it back in, push it in, Felton. Don't be so, push it down. But sometimes it don't work, and y'all just pray for me.
I was like, I'm gonna amen you, brother. You've been like just go ahead, Pastor, preach it.
All right.
Part of my experience.
So far we have, seek help. Archie told us, go get help, go find the veteran supports, veteran affairs and help. And Felton is telling us, go do it, go get it, go after it. Crystal, what's your advice?
The same thing. Come to the center, seek us out. We have our webpage that directs you into getting to the center, right? We actually revamped our whole admission process for veterans in conjunction with our mission department. So we have things right when you go into any admission part of our website, there's veterans. You can click on it, it gets you straight to the webpage for a veteran center. Then of course, there's all kind of information in there, and there's a connect form that we ask you to fill out because we're going to reach out to you as soon as we get that connect form. We're going after you. We're calling you. We want to check in. We want to help you. We don't want you just to kind of like maybe apply and then maybe you don't come and enroll. We want to be a part of your whole life while you're here at school. We want to see you transition. We want to see you successful in graduating. So my biggest advice to any student, any veteran and their families, please look for a center, or if there isn't a center, I'm just saying, go to the admissions and ask, who is your veterans benefit administrator, counselor, representative out there, because they will have the information. And then, like you just said, Felton, do it,
That's great. Thanks, Crystal.
do it.
You bring up a very good point. There is someone that's available to help you. All of our institutions have been recognized as military-friendly schools. Yes. And that is something that there's a list of criteria that has to be met in order for that recognition to be issued. So I'm gonna ask you all, well, Crystal, let's stay with you for a second. What, you mentioned that admissions process, the application, those kind of things. What would you say, the first step is? So, somebody's listening to this, like, yes, I'm ready to start. I want to do it, and I want to seek help. Where do they go? What should they do?
Depending if they're coming in person, that's, different compared to someone searching online. So if you're coming in, the first thing you should ask for is our admissions office, or if there is a center, should I start there? And to me, that's the first process. We will take you to the admissions to get things started. The one thing about our center we're not fully equipped with is a full-time person to sit and work you through the process, but we will guide you to admissions, help you with application, and get you started into looking at what program you might like. So we are trying to work with our admissions department to kind of be side by side with them. If you're online, we have everything just about step by step now. We just revamped it because we were noticing that we weren't getting connected. And so we decided, let's look at the moment a student either looks at us online or walks in there, what do we want them to do? And of course, the military in us, in me for sure, came with, oh, we need a checklist. We need a training file on that person, right? And so we're looking at that moment, that connection form that they fill out online, and that we have each step of what we want to do. And we really want to follow that student through their whole time, because we have, one semester you could be dealing with one thing, and the next semester you might be dealing with another thing. And we know the organizations, we know the community resources that are out there that might be able to help you. I mean, we have so many different companies that help with, if there's a financial assistance, a housing assistance, you may be dealing with something one semester and the next semester you're fine. Well, we want to still be plugged in with you pretty much from beginning to the end. So my first advice would be get into the admissions office. If you're physically coming in, definitely come seek out the center. We have the big sign that we're a military friendly campus. So hopefully that triggers in a student that, hey, wait, there's something here for military, let me go seek it out, right? And we're educating more of our staff too, to understand if it's a veteran student and their family, get in touch with us, get in touch with me or the navigator, and we will start the ball rolling with that student. And just the other day, we had a great example that our system that we put in place is actually working, right? I get a call from a military spouse whose husband was 100% disabled, and he passed away. She wants to go back to school. She's, in her 40s and change of life. So she said, I saw on the website that, I saw your number. I said, oh, perfect, wonderful. And from there, I got my little checklist out, and we went through and I started talking to her about things. And then I connected her with who she needs to talk to in admissions, who are the veteran people that can help you with all the VA benefits, because each parish has a VAC, they call it. It's a Veterans Assistant Counselor. So they're assigned to each parish, that's where they process all your VA benefits for education. So it's like, I gave her all those contact information. I gave her the navigator information. And now we've plugged her in. She's in our system. So now we're going to walk with her through the whole thing. We want to be there with her because we know what it's like. Not many people understand a veteran life, a family member of a veteran, and the things that you might be experiencing. But we were able to share and talk, and she is starting to see that this is a place that she can come to, and there's people waiting for her and want to help her. So in a nutshell, get to those centers, get to admissions, get to the website, and reach out.
Great, thank you. Well, thank you all, Archie, Crystal, Felton, for taking the time out. I want to ask you, is there anything that we haven't discussed that you want to share, that you have it in the back of your head, like, oh, I really wanted to share this? Is there anything like that we didn't get the chance to talk about?
That's one thing I would like to mention.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a mailman, I used to run into veterans all the time, when I was delivering mail on the street. And a lot of veterans didn't know that, like, once you get out of get honorable discharge, you have 10 years to use your GI Bill for, your education. You have 10 years to use it or lose it. That's it. Normally, once you get out, the first. But a lot of veterans don't know that if you service connected with 10%, with 10% or more, that you still can get it, because that's what I'm getting. I'm getting paid right now because of the VRE, Veteran Readjustment and Employment Act. A lot of veterans don't know that that's a total different program there. You know, the Veterans Readjustment and Employment Act. But it takes 11 years from the time that you received your claim. You have 11 years to use it. And I've been out 40 some years, and that's what I'm using now, the Veterans Readjustment and Employment Act. A lot of veterans don't know that.
That's great, Archie. Thanks for adding that, because it goes back to Crystal's point about seeking help, right? Going to the center and getting that advice. So that's great. Thanks, Archie, for sharing that.
All right.
Any other? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
I'm
Crystal.
thinking the other thing, I don't know how many people know this, but Louisiana has something called Title 29, and that's a veteran benefit if you're a certain percentage of disability that your family, your spouse, I know for sure your dependent, your child can go to college, you know, in this state-funded university. So that was something I had no idea about, and that's something you just don't realize, that an individual state has that kind of benefit for education. So, you know, that's information you want to know about. Other states may have something different, but for Louisiana, it's called Title 29. And to me, that was life-changing to know that, you know, I might have qualifications for my son to be able to go to a university in the state of Louisiana, or a college, you know, anywhere that's a state organization. So it's like, that's important to know that. So those are things you just kind of want to get the word out.
Thank you for that. So I have one more question for each of you, and it's the title of our podcast. So we have to go with this one. What's next for you? What is, I know we talked a little bit about this, but what's next for you, career-wise, school-wise, personally, later tonight, whatever you want to say, what's next?
I think I mentioned mine a little bit earlier, that once I graduate from this barber school, I plan to own and operate my own barber shop, and I'm looking for certain locations right now. As a matter of fact, I have 2 or 3 already in sight right now, locations.
There you go. And so what's next for Archie is the location. Good deal. Go ahead.
I say I have about 5 months left.
Excellent. Great deal. Congratulations in advance.
What
about you? What's next for you?
Well, if I was putting it like in the military, once I get out of AIT, I'm going to go to whatever unit will have me. I'll probably stick with that unit for a year before I look for a transfer into my own security industry. You know, I'll be doing my own thing eventually too, but I plan to do that for at least a year. Then go into maintenance and repair and comfort cooling and dealing with the cleanliness of people's inside air. Inside air quality is something that I know that is about to be growing, because everybody's scared of everybody's germs everywhere. If you cough on this podcast right now, I'm gonna flinch because I don't want the COVID, you know. And you know, health, you're nothing without your health. So having good air in there. But I want to spin it back around by the time, you know, I get to 60. I would love to teach at the college and give someone else an opportunity to learn a good career, learn a good hustle, not come out in the workforce and be so soft and be so thin-skinned. I think I can help with that. You know, I've just helped people change their lives, you know, because some of these young kids, they need to toughen up a little bit. They got to be a little bit, because America's it's a tough place too. You know, you can get it, but you can't get it if you soft. It's not made for the faint of heart. It's not for soft people. Soft people need not apply, you know, and we, you know, but this is the hard people's challenge. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on with us. So pray for us, you know, most of all, because we're willing to pay it out, you know, and we're those type of people, but it's not, I don't see a lot of them left, and it's scary. But after that, I'm going to help change their lives, and it's going to be better. You'll have, you know, highly efficient HVAC techs, you know, I'll probably make patches for them and everything. but the sky's the limit, you know. I'm only 50. I have 100 years left. So,
Yeah.
so I'm just happy. I'm living my best life, you know. Take the good with the bad and the bitter with the sweet, and don't let the devil steal your joy. So that's
great.
me.
Thanks, Felton, for sharing what's next and what's next after that and after that. So
That's it. That's it.
that's it. Thanks. Crystal, what about you?
Well, what's next? If my boss is out there, I hope to stay her assistant as long as she's the chancellor. That's the first goal. Yes, Dr. Strickland. The other thing is I've had a vision from the beginning about the Veterans Center that I hope to see play out in my time here, and that is to be a one-stop shop. Right now, you know, we're still in, I would say we're in toddler stage right now. We started an infant, as now we're a toddler, and I'm hoping eventually we're going to be where when that veteran walks in the door, that we can do everything from the center, from admissions to registration to graduation, you know, the whole 9 yards, all the financial aid. So that's kind of like the long-term goal for the center. And I hope I get to see that come to pass.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that, for what's next there from you. And I appreciate it. You playing it safe for a minute and going with your chancellor and said, hey, look, I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not thinking about what's next, you know, here, but that's good. I know you have a great vision for what the Veterans Center should be there. Well, I want to say it again. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your schedule, spending, you know, Tuesday afternoon or evening with me and talking about this. And you know, I think that each of us had a different experience in our military journey, but I can't remember who said it, but you know, we can trust each other. I feel like we bonded. We can go anywhere together and do anything. I want to get my air conditioning fixed from Felton and get my haircut from Archie.
Change your life.
Right? You know, so you know, I trust that for sure. But so thanks again, and we're not the only ones that are that have military background, that are either working at the college or going to school at the college. We have a ton of people, and we have a little tribute that we're going to roll here in a minute of all the folks that are, not all, but a lot of the folks that are part of our system, either as students, as faculty. So we're going to roll that real quick before we wrap up.
Well, thank you, Renee, for inviting me to be part of this event. It's been real special. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Archie. Thank you, Felton. Crystal, y'all have a great night. We're going to leave the audience with this quick rolling of our pictures of folks that have spent time in the military and now are spending time within our colleges, either as students or as faculty, staff. You know, going from service to the country and now service to their community. Thank you all very much. And everybody else, have a great night. This has been the What's Next Louisiana podcast brought to you by LCTCS. And my name is Renee Cintron. Keep coming back and listening for more. Good night, everybody.